Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Gonna do a recent finds video. You guys know what that is? Where I just go over to the recently acquired stack here, pull out 5 random records, and just kind of share with you 5 things I haven't shared with you yet. Haven't been doing much the last probably 4 or 5 days. Haven't been around the VC much. I was actually out of town. I went to meet some friends in Memphis, and it really had like an awesome musical weekend. It wasn't exactly planned to be a musical weekend, but it really kind of turned out to be that way. We originally went down there to go see actually Chris Stapleton. Almost forgot I had that shirt on. And that was an absolute awesome show because I've never seen him live before. And what was kind of even made it even more fantastic was I didn't even pay attention until about a couple days before who the opener was going to be. And so I discovered, kind of right at the last minute, that Marcus King was opening for him, who's someone else that I've really gotten into over the past year and a half or so. And to see him live too is just like, a kind of mind blowing. If you're not familiar with Marcus King, number one, his looks will totally throw you off from what you do expect when you like see pictures of him or whatever else. But the boy is the real deal, and he's like a Stevie Ray Vaughan meets Kenny Wayne Shepherd with maybe a tiny sprinkle of Hendrix mixed in there. And like I said, you take one look at him and you don't expect it, but that boy can play, and that boy can he's the real deal. So it was awesome seeing him open for Chris Stapleton. And of course Chris is just it just sounds like he was recording in the studio. It's just so on point. But then the next day we ended up going to Graceland. For someone who's not a big Elvis Presley fan at all, I'm like at all, that was so worth it. Just that experience and taking you into kind of Elvis's world and so forth, it actually really kind of pepped up my interest to actually dive into more Elvis at this point in time. I was totally shocked by that because I did not think I would really enjoy it at all, and it was one of the best type of tour things that I've done in a long time. So highly recommend checking out Graceland. That was awesome. And then we were spending some time on Beale Street, checking out some different bands and just kind of hanging out or whatever. We saw on the marquee of this theater that it said, tomorrow night, Frankie Valli. And we're like, wait, Frankie Valli, really? And long story short, looked up tickets and got some that were pretty reasonable and went and checked it out and saw Frankie Valli. The dude's like 89, 90 years old. And voice is still on point. That's the crazy part about it. Like, you catch yourself watching him really close because you're trying to catch him, like, maybe is he going to slip up and you're going to realize he's lip syncing or whatever else. And no, you saw with all the changes and everything that was going on, it was Frankie all the way, and his voice is like totally still there. He's just 90. It's crazy. But it was really cool too, though, because we had like, I guess you was gonna say a bet, but we were all kind of talking about what songs he gonna open with. And so I chose Sherry. Someone else chose Big Girls Don't Cry and all of that. And sure as heck, he opened the show with Grease of all things, and it was one of those surreal moments of like, I'm watching Frankie Valli singing Grease. It's just too cool, and it sounds like absolutely perfect. So real awesome, just kind of music 101 weekend. Just thought I'd share that really quick. It was killer, absolutely awesome. So let me kind of go in the stack and randomly grab 5 records out of here. Let's see. Let's go with, if I can get my finger in there. I just knocked him over, but oh well. All right, so we're gonna go with little Miles Davis here. One of a couple of new releases that, I guess reissue / new releases that MoFi did, and this is not my absolute favorite Miles album, but I was able to find some pretty good deals on import CDs online. They had these kind of really cheap, and so I picked up a couple actually. But yeah, definitely a very solid album by him. It's just like all of Miles and stuff. It depends on, if you're into more of his straight suit type of stuff, or if you're more into like the you know, when he got a little more functified, if you will, by Betty Davis and kind of some of that stuff that he did back then. But yeah, I mean, absolute classic right here from 1959. And glad MoFi reissued some of those. I picked one of those up. Let's see, what else? They kind of fell over. We push them back up here. All right. And so then we'll go. Oh, the other one I got from Import. Milestones. And this is his 1958 release. And this is kind of a cool one too, because this is one of the early Miles Davis albums that I purchased when I first really kind of got into jazz and started listening to Miles. So it was kind of cool that they reissued that one as well. Like I said, I don't know if Import CDs, I usually get stuff from them on eBay if they still had the sale, but I mean, those were like over 23% off at the time. So really good pickups there. What else here? Let's go with this one. This is one that I got at a record show probably about a month or so ago. It's been a little while, but it just hasn't come out of the stack. And this is Joe Jackson. This is Look Sharp from 1979. Just like, I kind of feel like all of Joe's albums, another one of his underrated albums. Of course, my favorite song, I shouldn't say of course, my favorite song off of here is Is She Really Going Out With Him? Just reminds me of so many different 80s movies that song popped up in. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. Again, late 70s when Joe was still really kind of doing his thing, and definitely a nice little prelude to some of the stuff that was going to come in the 80s. But very inexpensive record. It's just one that I had just, you know, I just didn't find like a near mint copy for the longest time. They were always a little bit, you know, beat up, ring wear and that type of thing. It was a typical $5, you know, $8 type of record. So it was kind of cool finding one that was just in fantastic condition to finally get that in the collection. Let's see, next let's go here. Another one I picked up at that record show about a month or so ago, Creedence Clearwater Revival. And this is just kind of a greatest hits from 1981. And, you know, everything you would expect to find on a greatest hits. I say 81 Japanese pressing, stuff like, you know, Proud Mary, Bad Moon Rising, Susie Q, Have You Seen the Rain, Down on the Corner, and on and on and on. Like all the stuff you expect to find on any CCR greatest hits. But it's just kind of a nice, beautiful Japanese pressing, so I decided to pick that up. See that kind of nice obi there. And let's do one more here. Let's go here. This is one I picked up at the shop a little while ago. Again, some of these have been sitting over there for a while. The Right Touch by Duke Pearson, another one of the recent Tone Poet releases. You know, great jazz pianist, just another one of the legends out there. And this was his release from 1967. I can't necessarily say there's one particular standout track on this, but I'm kind of like that with most jazz that I listen to. It's more so the feel of that particular artist that I go to that album for, as opposed to like actually going for one specific song that really is my, you know, that doesn't happen as much in my jazz world. But here, you know, you have, you know, obviously Duke Pearson on piano, but you have like Freddie Hubbard on trumpet, Spaulding on sax, Tarantine on sax as well. So I mean, again, like all the Blue Note, just a stack of gigantic names on every single album. And then you wonder why like every Blue Note album is just freaking fantastic. It's like it's the same 30 guys being rotated, excuse me, the same 30 geniuses being rotated from every single album, just changing, you know, who's so-called lead on each one. But another fantastic pickup there. Glad to add that to the collection. So there you go, VC. Just kind of a little quick update, a couple recent finds there. Kind of jazz heavy on this side, but that's what's sitting over there. So as always, let me know what you think, and we will talk to you guys soon. All right, take care, guys.